Hello and welcome to video message number 33 to Donald Trump and the rest of the presidential candidates along with the politicians of this worn out country. What the hell was that on Saturday Night Live last night? You know, I don't watch very much TV at all whatsoever. I've never watched Saturday Night Live in my entire life. But was I disgusted? Oh my God. Donald, you just, to me, as an American citizen that didn't know what was going on, made an ass of yourself. I expected it to actually be something worth watching. I didn't know it was going to be some kind of a play or half-ass skit. Anyway, I couldn't even finish watching the whole rest of it. I had to go to bed. I was that damn bored and that disappointed in what the hell Saturday Night Live was all about. But anyway, we're going to throw some facts at you people today and see if we can't get you to pull your head out of your ass one more time. Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going on over here in Ohio, but we got a hold of a couple contracts this morning, and you know, from day one I've been saying that Jack Hanna had a part in all this, and along with Carol Baskin and the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries and everybody else, and today pretty much proves it. I got a hold of this contract I'm going to show you here, and you know, Jack Hanna's benefiting to the tune of $45,000 and not to exceed $100,000 in order to take care of the animals that they have in that Reynoldsburg facility down there. And then to turn around and show you people, the citizens of Ohio, that you've already dumped $3.5 million into this project, and now they're wanting to approve another $500,000 to turn around and give every one of their buddies a contract so they can make money off of not only the people that they're taking animals away from, but make money off of you, the citizens of Ohio. So by the time they're done, if they approve this other $500,000, you're going to be looking at $4 million. This has cost you, the citizens of Ohio, out of your pocket. It doesn't matter if you own animals or not. You're paying the bill. What have I got to do to wake you up and understand this? You need to call the budget committee. You need to call your representatives and your senators and goddamn the news media. What's it going to take for the news media to actually report what the hell is going on here? Channel 10 yesterday was probably the closest to almost of explaining what the hell was going on, but they kind of beat around the bush and they didn't exactly explain to the citizens of Ohio that you're forking at the $4 million, not the state. Where do you think the state gets their money? From tax money, out of your shit that you buy and you sell. It's not that it just falls out of the sky into a can sitting on the governor's desk and then he dishes it out. This is coming out of your pocket, people, to turn around and launder your tax money into their buddies' pocket. So, you know, you just as well be the ones that are taking these animals away from these people because you're the one funding it. And until we can get you to understand that you're funding it and you're going to stop funding it by stop voting and pick up a phone and do a little bit of bitching about this all going on, you're part of the problem. Because you're the ones funding this terrorism going on in Ohio. One of the most amazing things that I think is going on through all this, you know, you got ISIS over there cutting people's heads off, blowing airplanes out of the sky, killing 200 and some odd people at one time, and you're spending $4 million trying to take a man's tigers away from him in the United States of America. It is beyond me what you people can actually want to spend money on. Instead of spending money on putting a stop to these people cutting people's heads off and blowing airplanes out of the sky, we're worried about whether or not Michael Stapleton has 5 tigers, or Kenny Hedrick's got a couple tigers and some bears, or fuck, Daniel Chambers has got a couple tigers and a couple bears. At what point did any of them animals ever hurt any of the citizens of Ohio? But y'all are digging in your pocket and you're handing out $4 million to all of these crooks in order to take care of their animals. Now, I've been told this morning that there is such thing as an email between Carol Baskin and the ODA up there at Reynoldsburg, Ohio. And there's been some Freedom of Information Acts filed in order to retrieve these emails. But I was informed this morning that Carol actually called up to Reynoldsburg facility when she found out that Mike's tigers were confiscated. and she requested the oldest tiger with the most medical problems. Now, why do you suppose that happened? The oldest tiger, so she ain't got to feed that motherfucker for another 10 years. The one with the most medical problems, so she can get online and suck on heartstrings to raise that $100,000 she wants to supposedly take care of that tiger. She didn't want to take no healthy ones because that way she couldn't raise any money on it. Meanwhile, you're digging in your pocket a little bit deeper to approve $200,000 more so these people can take care of these animals out of the state of Ohio. I'll tell you what, here's you an offer, ODA, Channel 13 and Channel 10 News. I have access to the transport equipment that we need to go to Florida and pick that tiger up and bring it back to either Michael Stapleton's or the ODA. Those animals should be staying at the ODA, okay, the Reynoldsburg facility, until all of the court process has wore out. It shouldn't be down there at Big Cat Rescue or over there in a Carolina Rescue or another facility, so that way they can continue to raise money, okay? If you're going to take $4 million out of people's pockets and you're going to give contracts to Jack Hanna's employees to take care of these animals, them sons of bitches better be staying right there in that facility that you spent $3.5 million building to take care of them animals. What the hell sense did it make to spend $3.5 million to build a facility and then turn around and ask for $200,000 more to have somebody else take care of them at another location? I'll never figure it out. I'll never understand it. And I'll never understand why you people of Ohio are sitting back letting this happen. But the other problem is you got Channel 13 News and Channel 10 News. Nobody will report the truth of how this little laundering scheme between friends and everybody else is going on down there. And I still think that it was totally illegal for the state of Ohio to hire and issue contracts to people without putting them up for bid. Okay, so I have access to the trucks and trailers and the people to do this absolutely free. I don't want a dollar contract. I don't want a $100,000 contract. We're going to do it for free. We're going to offer it for free. And that is, when them tigers over there that are Mike's that are still in that facility over there, we will move them to a location that we want to move them to, and they will have no money raised doing it. The state of Ohio taxpayers won't pay a dime to have them moved or cared for, because that's the business we're in. And we will house those animals for Mike until he either wins in court or he gets a permit or he moves to a state he's allowed to have his animals back. And that includes a truck and trailer to drive to Tampa, Florida and collect all them animals that have been seized from the citizens of Ohio. Now, when you can take and knock on somebody's door like they did Michael Stapleton, with 2 sheriff's deputies and a SWAT team behind him with automatic rifles and SWAT rifles and riot gear and helicopters and, Jesus Christ, over 30 squad cars. What the hell did you expect that man to do? Say, no, you're not going to take my animals? Your question is why did he surrender his animals? Jesus Christ, if I was looking at 30 cop cars and a SWAT team and a helicopter, I don't think I'd be standing there with my wife and kids saying, oh no, you're not taking my animals. The man had no choice. He had to turn them over under distress. And that's what we're sticking to. But anyway, all of them animals need to be returned back to the Reynoldsburg facility. There shouldn't be one person profiting one dime off of taking any of these animals away from these people. And if you can't do that, that just seals up the whole idea that this was a scam from day one. There shouldn't be anybody profiting from somebody else's demise. The one thing is you got to give them a little bit of credit, because they did put some thought into some of this before they started all this scamming bullshit. They actually put in there that no relative or employee thereof can donate to the campaign, the political campaign of old John Kasich over there. But the problem is they're taking money from Big Cat Rescue and the others, and they're giving it to the Humane Society of the United States Legal Fund and Political Fund, and the Political Fund is taking care of the same people. So it didn't exactly work by putting it in those contracts that it couldn't have a donation of over $1,000 to any kind of a campaign fund, because that money is being funneled all the way around that big circle. All right, so for the last 32 days, I've thrown in a video clip in every one of these messages asking 6 questions. Today, I'm not gonna do that. Today, I'm gonna throw in Channel 10's news segment that they did yesterday when they interviewed Michael Stapleton, because it is a little informative and it does give you a little of an insight of exactly what's going on here. So we're gonna do that right now.
The Ohio Department of Agriculture is asking the state for $500,000 in additional tax money.
The organization says caring for exotic animals seized by the state is proving costly. The news isn't sitting well with the original owners of those animals. 10 TV's Brian Somerville joins us. Brian, you spoke with one of those owners tonight?
I certainly did. And you know what? In 10 years, Mike Stapleton says he never had one injury, not one complaint, while caring for 5 tigers in his backyard. Now, last month, they were seized by the state. He calls it ironic that the ODA took them from a loving, nurturing home because it was for the best, to now the ODA saying they don't have enough money to provide the best for the animals they are holding.
Just after 4 o'clock on Gillette Road in Prospect, it's time for dinner. Mike Stapleton used to have much more than African brown geese to care for. In fact,
well, of course, I mean,
it's been 32 days since his 5 tigers were seized by the Ohio Department of Agriculture.
This is
something still difficult to talk about.
It's not like a zoo. I mean, these animals are a part of our family.
Stapleton signed over the animals to the ODA, even though he says he was working with them to become compliant under the new Dangerous Wild Animal Act.
Yeah, very upsetting.
Also upsetting, knowing the ODA now asking for $500,000 in additional funding to provide care and transportation for seized animals.
They are admitting by asking for this money that they do not have the finances to take care of what they're taking in.
ODA claims with the law being new, the agency did not have a clear understanding of the funds needed. Stapleton claims it's a lack of education.
This comes back to where the ODA does not know what they're doing. They do not know what they're doing.
He's fighting for the law to be repealed and his animals to be back in his custody.
I want them to stop taking people's animals and rethink this whole thing. And I want my animals back, and I want them today.
A fight he's not ready to back down from.
And I want to say to the ODA, they haven't seen the last of me. I'm going to be a pain in their from now on.
He certainly is passionate about it. 4 of Stapleton's tigers are right now in the holding facility in Reynoldsburg. He says the 5th tiger is at the Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. Also worth mentioning, the hearing is scheduled for this Monday with the state controlling board to determine if the ODA might get that extra $500,000.
If you need a simple factual way to understand animals being ripped away from people and what's happening in this industry, I did a music video here a while back that upset the Humane Society of the United States and PETA so bad that they sent out a press release trying to get me in trouble for letting people lay with full-grown tigers. That footage wasn't even mine. It was given to me in order to make this music video. But this music video explains pretty much about how these exotic animals feel and their owners, and that's coming up right now. A select group of animal owners' constitutional rights are being stripped away. Tomorrow, it could be yours.
I see freedom from this cage. I feel relief from pain and rage. I see the light come shining through all this and more your love can do. I've seen the nights last 4 years, seen grown men cry, cower in fear. I've seen the sky of purple blue, all your love can do. Do you ever wonder about the thunder? Do you ever wonder about the night? Do you ever wonder who really loves you? Do you ever wonder who's wrong or right? Do you ever wonder who really loves you? All this and more, love can do. Your love can do. All this and more, your love can do. You could save the weak and heal the lame, the wild beast. You can make it tame. Just let your light come shining through. All this and more, your love can do. Well, I once was chained, but now I'm free. I found the cure. Well, I found the key. I gave my hand to those in need. All this and more, your love can do. Do you ever wonder about the thunder? Do you ever wonder about the night? Do you ever wonder who really loves you? Do you ever wonder who's wrong or right? Do you ever wonder who really loves you? Do you ever wonder who's wrong or right? Do you ever wonder who's wrong or right? All this and more, love can do. Your love can do. All this and more, all this and more.
The thing that lawmakers don't understand is when you take an animal away from the only home it's ever been, it goes through a mourning process. And 90% of the animals taken away end up dying. So join our fight today and get online to www.usza.us and help us fight to keep your constitutional rights to be able to keep whatever kind of pet you want. All right, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's video message number 33. Like I said, we're going to keep this up for the next 380-something days until this countdown goes down to the presidential elections in 2016. But you can guarantee and you can bet your eyes to one thing, and that is we have some very intelligent, very dedicated people filing Freedom of Information Acts on anything to do with emails between the government of Ohio and everybody else in order to obtain all the evidence we need to prove that this fraud's going on. So that's a little message out there to all of you crooked bastards. We're gonna get the evidence and we're gonna come after you publicly and in a court of law. I'm Joe Exotic, and I'll see you tomorrow for message number 34.